Alright, who doesn't like a nice Impact Stubby set? I imagine you're watching this video because you do. And we did a previous video, we actually done several, I think, of these. And this is going to be Harbor Freight's Quinn product line. And it's got a roll stamped, and it's got laser etch, chrome moly, and these are compact sockets. You may note that regular short sockets are about the long, and then longs are about that long, or somewhere in between, depending on what you have. Each manufacturer builds them differently. But these are stubby, and when you use them correctly with, in this case, I think this is a 21 or 22 millimeter. Don't quote me on it right now. If you use it with the right, in this case, it was an Astro Tools wrench, you could put it in there, it locks into place, and you get in really tight places. Well, that works great for the larger size units, but what about some stubbies that are smaller, that are 3/8 inch drive, and not the 1/2 inch drive? Well, Crom, which is a relatively new company to me, I don't think they've been around all that long, they decided to make their own Astro version of these Impact stubbies. And, well, let's take a look, because I think you might be surprised. Let's jump into it. Alright, part number on these is going to be 21001, and they are made in Taiwan, which is a thumbs up. It's not China. And you can see the front here. They claim 14-piece, 3/8 inch drive. They're 6-point sets. High quality anodized aluminum storage rail included. We'll look at that. I'm actually interested as well. And quality built to last. Oh, we'll see. But I like here 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. No skips. It's all there. So that's a big win for these guys. Now on the back, you know what I love too? You actually got part numbers for each and every single one of those sizes. So if you lose one, you break one, whatever, you could call them up or reach out to them. I think they have a email here as well. There's your email, info@cromtool. You could order that separately. That's a great idea. Now, here they talk about overall low-profile design, shorter than standard. Yeah, we already talked about that. Stamped and laser etched. I want to see the stampings here and show you guys those. Made with chromoly. And 17 millimeter outside hex wrench. And we'll talk about that next after this. But everything in one package right here. Alright, so here is our rail. Let's take a look at that. That is aluminum. And let's give a little bit of a flex test. Oh, that doesn't even flex at all. That's nice. The end bits are plastic. Looks like they're removable in case you need to add or remove. You can also use it as a pegboard to hang it. They are not magnetic, although you'll probably find a way to put a magnet strip in there if you really wanted to. But let's see our sizes. And look, they even stamp the, or they laser etch each of the part numbers on them. So far, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Let's check out that broaching. Good broaching, good radius. This actually has a slight sharp edge to it. I'm impressed on that. I don't see any burring. Not that anybody likes to use an 18 mil. Here's your reliefs in the side, the collars. That's going to allow you to use that spring inside of this wrench to retain against that and give you that positive clicking out. It does have the locking hole, so if you're using an impact. Okay, here's the sizing. This is the part I wanted to see. That is going to be a little bit tough to see. Okay, there you go. Chrome moly, 18 millimeter. So evidently, when this will eventually wear out on you guys, especially if you use these frequently, you're going to have to revert to the stamping. And that stamping is small. That is quite small. But the good news is you can still read it, and I'm glad that they did it. Now, is it as good as, say, Quinn's Harbor Freight option? No, that's a better job. That's a better roll stamp on there. You'll see that much easier. So, if you're visually impaired, this might be a challenge for you down the road. I'll be honest with you. Let's check out on the smaller ones, like say a 12. How does that roll stamp look? They might use just the same size for everything. Yeah, there it is right there. So, but all in all, everything else about it is great. It's excellent. And I like too how they keep it kind of shallow walled, because you get too thick on these, and even as they size up, sometimes they'll share the same size as their partner next to them. Let's see if they do any of that along here, if they're all different. Well, so far different there. There. Yeah. That one's different too. I was going to say these two might have almost been it, but no. They actually used a completely different die for each one so that you don't get those really thick walls. Most places don't do it, especially Harbor Freight doesn't do it. They like to combine several in the same one to make it work. I don't know if I have an example on this one to look at. Not really. But I think the Metric had one or two that might share sizing. And you don't have to use their dedicated. I mean, you could use an adjustable wrench if you'd like, or let's say you just have your own favorite 17 millimeter of your own. Guess what? You can stick it inside there and run it like so. It's going to work just fine. The only downside is there's no retention, so it's going to slide off. So you got to be careful how you put it up in there, and then run it. You'll be fine. Plus, you can come back with, say you're in a tight spot, and you need to use the open inside. Come on it like so, and you can crank it that way too. It's made to work with whatever. But I think the part you guys are going to like is the wrench here. So 10.5 inch long, 12 point, stubby socket, flexible end wrench. Definitely nice. Let's take a look at the back. Part number for you, 51001. And no, guys, in the description below, I'll put links to each of these on Amazon. That way you get the best price. And made in Taiwan. There's your part number again. And what's nice about this is 120 tooth. So it's going to have to be a dual pawl system. We'll open up, take a look at it. And so it gives you 3-degree arc swing and 150-degree swivel back and forth. And uses the C-clip retainer. So, and this is going to be much the same as Astro. Astro has a very similar process. And chrome vanadium. So, let's take a look. Alright, there she is. Chrome looks pretty good. Finish looks pretty good. Handle, there it is. I like the stamping. That's actually nice and clean. That has a nice, desirable look to it. Yeah, not bad. I mean, it's fairly straight. A little bit of a teardrop to it. It is about on par. Oh, that is buttery smooth, though. I could do that, like, just super easy. That is super easy. Good flex. Nice and tight still. You can tighten it here with, looks like a Torx. You got Torx there. I mean, pretty standard Taiwanese construction for these. I'm sure they have somebody make these directly for them, but 120 teeth that is super nice. That's definitely more than this. I want to say this one's like 72 teeth. A little more clanky. But here it goes. So it's one direction. So you just click it inside there. There's that retaining ring. Click it inside there. A positive lock you get right there. And then you could go to town using it on whatever it is you need to get to in those tight, confined spaces. You could turn it and tilt it like so. You go from the top and do a quick spin as you loosen it up. It's just a great way to do it. These flexible head wrenches are I mean, I use them all the time. So when you have one on a short stubby like this, you can adjust out the size of the socket that you're running. That just makes it super nice and convenient. I say retention is just a little bit softer than this one. That's a little bit tighter in there. And it might be just depending on the one I've got. I'm sure you could yank that spring out and bend it if you wanted to make it a little bit tighter in there. But it's going to be enough for me to get it on whatever it is I'm working on. And then wrench away. And then if you want to reverse, just take it and flip it 180 degrees. And now it wants to tighten. So, I would like to see with the selector switch. There's not too many options with the selector switch. I think I would prefer that. Just so you don't have to keep switching it out, but this isn't bad either. This is a good setup. Now, you're going to ask yourself right now, okay, cool, these are awesome. How much do they cost? Well, on Amazon, which I think is the only places they sell them, I'll put, again, the links down below for you guys. But for the sockets, these are going to be about $36 for the whole set right now. I don't know if they put them on an additional sale, but right now they're $36, which is a great price, I think, for these. And for the wrench here, this one's going to be 30 bucks. So very inexpensive as well. It's going to be a little bit less expensive than what this one runs. I want to say this one got down as low as $28 at one point when it was on sale, but typically is in the 30, 40, or 40 plus range. This one really fluctuates. But if you like the Crom, these are actually really good prices right now. So I imagine they probably will go up with time. Just because they're a new company, they tend to be a little more aggressive out the gate with their pricing. But good anodized aluminum rail, good tools. I have no qualms about saying these are good. And if you have any problems, reach out to Crom. I'm sure they'll send you some new ones if they break. But yeah, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. Especially you Astro tool guys. What do you think about these compared to what you have? I don't have the Astro tool set, so give me your feedback. Are these the same? Are they different? How so? Let me know, guys. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.